After the monumental reception to Super Mario Odyssey, Mario has never been more adored by his fanbase, and it's at times like these where we forget many of the games that molded and shaped the series. Because Odyssey is touted as returning to the likes of Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine, I feel like Super Mario Galaxy is getting the short end of the stick. These games captivated Mario and Nintendo fans around the world. Keep in mind, Galaxy was considered one of the greatest games of all time at the time, but alas, it has become a relic of its era. Could this be an example of how maybe times change, and also maybe Ocarina of Time isn't all that good either? I just went there. This is not a good way to do this. I don't know if I should keep that joke in. What is up, fellow gaming enthusiasts? My name is Kevin, and welcome back to Beyond Polygons, where we look at the subtleties and layers of what makes a game unique. Nearly every Super Mario title was considered a classic in their own right, and not even just the 3D Mario games. Super Mario Bros. 3 was the beginnings of Mario as an adventure game, more than just being a platformer. And Super Mario 64 showed that this could adapt to a 3D environment, and Super Mario Galaxy proved that the Mario universe is truly too large for this planet. Is that what the back of the box art says? It went on to sell over 12 million units and won numerous awards back in 2007. Wow, I forgot how old this game was. No matter how much of a masterpiece Odyssey is, we can't forget the reasons why we adored Mario's first steps into outer space. And with that, I have to ask, what makes Super Mario Galaxy unique? Having played Odyssey, Super Mario Galaxy feels different, but not in a bad way. The story, for one, is far more extreme compared to other Mario titles. Bowser wants to take over the universe, and thanks to the new characters of Rosalina and the Lumas, the game expands on what the Mario universe is capable of. They are interstellar beings that are written into the Mushroom Kingdom lore. Lumas are the essence that builds everything in the universe. They are the power stars, the planets, the galaxies, and so much more. This is a shift compared to the happy world of the Mushroom Kingdom. If anything, Galaxy is a game that discusses how the universe came to be, and Rosalina is this ethereal figure that oversees all of it. She is so pure in protecting the universe and the Lumas, she almost feels like a higher being, kind of like Mother Nature, but for the universe. Shigeru Miyamoto referred to Rosalina as a mother-like character with her family of stars, also adding that they had a sadder story. And without spoilers, let's just say their endgame is much like that of the universe. It bears no judgment, and everything that is what it is. I hope that sounds profound. So although Mario started by just trying to save Peach, Rosalina and the Lumas are the ones in real danger because they represent the universe. Now that Bowser is trying to control the way of the universe, it's truly an adventure of galactic proportions. Okay, we'll stop with the space puns. Control-wise, this is another Mario game. You run with the joystick and you jump with the A button. And the new feature is attacking enemies by flicking the Wiimote. It doesn't seem like a mechanic, and it's weird that Mario's new skill is the ability to punch things. But this spin move does have some other uses, such as helping with the platforming and swimming, among other things. You can also collect star bits, which is this game's currency for unlocking more levels, and you collect them by pointing at them with the Wiimote, and you can shoot them back out with the B button, and it can stun enemies, but nobody does that. The real reason these games deviate from the prior titles is because levels weren't about exploring. Though there is the occasional fork in the road or a hidden room somewhere, exploring yields generally just collectibles or like a power-up, and just about every mission is point A to point B, and maybe some of the rooms will have puzzles and others will have tough platforming sections, but it's the same linearity. So the idea of a hub world and picking different worlds to build up to 120 stars isn't really as important with this in question. There are a lot of levels with just an average of 3 stars per world, and some only have 1. I could say that these worlds are kind of like the secret slide kind of levels from Super Mario 64. But without them being hidden, it kind of makes the Comet Observatory a bit of an empty space. It looks great though, and I think the society among the Lumas and Toads and Luigi, and the music, it's just great, and it's a welcoming hub world. In Super Mario Galaxy 2, they actually switched to a map screen similar to Super Mario Bros. 3, and it honestly works for the better. Plus, it generally has better levels than the first game, and they both work around a different core than their predecessors when it comes to level design. All this hub world stuff and lack of exploration doesn't ruin the game, it's just, it does the idea differently. This is just what makes Galaxy unique after all, and I'm not saying either of these games are perfect, but the level design concepts work. It just doesn't use the big overworld, and in Galaxy 2, it works to its benefit. The levels are designed around planets. Though the game is touted for its gravity physics, it's more focused on the shapes of the planets and how Mario can run around them. Think of Mega Man Classic, just instead of having different rooms, they're separate planets, and it gives this weird sense to 3D platforming. In many ways, levels don't seem right for jumping, just because camera angles can get very unruly. Plus, the game isn't afraid to have Mario running upside down or sideways, and it adds to the galactic theme of the game, even though none of this would be physically possible. I mean, do the math. But it is a huge mix-up on the platforming. It makes jumping this new experience, because you're not just jumping across platforms, you're jumping across planets and getting stuck in their gravity fields. That's why people praise the gravity mechanics in this game. Though it's not perfect, this game did come out in 2007, there are some wonky moments that can feel really out of this world. Man, I said I wasn't gonna do the puns. But even with the tilting and kerning and sometimes cumbersome camera, it's easy to orient yourself and master the platforming. Oh, and long jumping is back, and it is the fastest way of moving, so it's just as nostalgic as I remember it. The whole level and mission concept makes a lot more sense given each planet has their own quick puzzle or gimmick to figure out. Some levels can be fast-paced and hectic, and others can slow things down. It's a balanced variety. Collecting star bits along the way is a great distraction for completionists, especially since the game does have its levels that are kinda easy, but it does distract you for long enough. And you need a ton of them anyway to get all 120 stars, so I mean, why not do it? Plus, this game has some of the weirdest power-ups, but hey, we thought Cappy was gonna be a crazy idea too. But like B Mario and Boo Mario? What a weird time to be a Mario fan. This is also when Nintendo started putting in more 2D sections and really pushing a linear gameplay style, as I mentioned earlier. This linear style does wonders for the boss fights, and each feels like a proper build-up and encounter. Each boss and every level for that matter will have new mechanics, from gravity-based gimmicks or unique items or power-ups and varying ways to use them. Even the shape of every planet can be used to obscure things behind it. This makes each new planet a curious little object for Mario to run around on, and heck, it's pretty much the Bowser boss fights. But this is how the exploring is incorporated. In Galaxy 1, there are hidden missions and Luigi hidden around some levels with extra stars. And in Galaxy 2, it was the amazing addition of the green stars in every level. The concept works and the levels are all great. I found myself dying a lot on some missions, and others were just great experiences. Battle Rock Galaxy has a lot of moments where Mario comes flying out of an exploding cannon, and it has this big orchestral soundtrack, and then you get to Gusty Garden Galaxy and the music is... oh, it's beautiful. Oh yeah, this game has a fully orchestral soundtrack, even before Zelda had one, and it works. A wonderful mix that uses the power of an orchestra with the cosmic theme of a galactic adventure. The game feels large, and for those who complain that some of the moons in Odyssey are too easy to get, every star in Galaxy has its own little story or challenge to overcome. With great music paired with flying through space, it makes for a beautiful presentation. The Comet Stars are also a great addition and can be legitimately challenging. Boss fights with 1 health? That will forever be a challenge, and especially for someone like me who likes to play kind of aggressively. I like to get those double hits when I can, you know. I had a lot of fun with the second King Caliente fight, and I was like long jumping into those watermelons. Though it's easy to get the modest requirement of 60 stars to face Bowser and roll the credits, the missions will ramp up on the way to 120 stars, and scouring past levels and new ways to use past mechanics, the Comet Stars all make every level on the way to completion a fun challenge to overcome. With a story that borrows a philosophical approach to the universe while still being cute and colorful in a way that only Mario knows how to do, Super Mario Galaxy is a worthwhile experience. Is it overshadowed by Odyssey? Well, yes, but they take to the genre differently. This is more a precursor to the New Super Mario Land and the New Super Mario World style gameplay. Both games had great level design and great presentation and replayability. These were simply other adventures in the canon of Mario, and that's why Rosalina and Luma are fan favorite characters today. And as for what the sequel specifically did differently, Galaxy 2 simply has better levels where each is a challenge in itself. The story is less involved and the lack of a hub world takes away from the communities you're trying to save. It feels almost more like a DLC or a side story to the original, but this video is more focused on the original because it was the final goodbye to the idea of a hub world and community that the game centered on, not unlike Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine. It'd be hard to argue that this game is still a best of all time, but that doesn't mean it isn't a captivating experience because this was a whole other side to the Mario universe and fits right in with all the other games. This is how Mario does a sci-fi game, and it just kind of proves how Mario has told his story so many different ways, with great levels and tons of different mechanics and challenges to face, plus a mind-bending shift to 3D platforming. Super Mario Galaxy is a 3D platformer epic in space, and it uses this space setting to send the players on a challenging but rewarding journey. That is what makes Super Mario Galaxy unique. If you enjoyed this video, click that like button, and if you'd like to see more videos that discuss what makes any video game stand out, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.